Srimati Seema vs. Ashwin Kumar, 2006. The following issue has been discussed by Supreme Court. Registration of marriage. In which one of the following case Supreme Court has directed the marriage of all persons belonging to any religion be registered in their respective state where marriage is solemnized if they are citizens of India. Seema vs. Ashwin Kumar. Constitutional validity of the section of Hindu Marriage Act 1955 was upheld by the Supreme Court in Saroj Rani vs. Sudarshan. Section 9. The constitutional validity of Section 9 of the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 was tested in Saroj Rani vs. Sudarshan. T. Sirisitha vs. Venkata Subbiah is a case related to conjugal right. Bipin Chandra vs. Prabhavati. The Supreme Court explained that concept of desertion. Lakshman Uttam Chand Kriplani vs. Meena is a leading decision of the Supreme Court on the ground of desertion. Which one of the following section of Hindu Marriage Act was challenged in the case of Lakshmi Amal vs. Ramaswamy Naikar? Section 11. Which one of the following cases is decided by Supreme Court in related to mental cruelty? Dastane vs. Dastane. Dastane vs. Dastane. Dastane vs. Dastane is a leading case of the Supreme Court on the point of cruelty. In which one of the following cases it was held that matrimonial right is not a violation of Article 14 and Article 21 of the Constitution. Saroj vs. Sudarshan. The case relating to constructive desertion is Jyotish Chandra vs. Meera. While examining the amplitude of cruelty for the purpose of Hindu Marriage Act 1955, the Honorable Supreme Court in which one of the following case laid down the broad parameter which may be relevant in dealing with the case of mental cruelty. Samar Ghosh vs. Jaya Ghosh, 2007. A Hindu husband converting to Islam, marrying again, will be guilty of bigamy. It was held in the which one of the following case? Sarla Mudgal vs. Union of India. Under Hindu law, Geeta Jagdish Mangatai vs. Jagdish Mangatani, 2005, is a case of desertion. Tagore vs. Tagore laid down in which one of the following rule of law? A Hindu cannot dispose of his property by gift, intervening in the favor of unborn child. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that demand of dowry, which prohibited under law, amount to cruelty and also ground for dissolution of marriage? Shobha Rani vs. Madhukar Reddy, 1998. In which case Supreme Court held that staying together under the same roof is not precondition for the mental cruelty. K. Srinivas Rao vs. D.A. Deepa, 2013. The leading case of Hindu husband entering in the second marriage on conversion to Islam is Sarla Mudgal case, 1995. The preposition of law laid down in Rusuma vs. Srisa Reddy, 1977 is right of female Hindu under subsection 1 and subsection 2 of section 14 of Hindu Succession Act. V. Tullasamy vs. V. Sisa Reddy is a leading decision of Supreme Court in the provision of dash of the Act, section 14. Mother of Hindu child while declared by apex court to be natural guardian during the lifetime of his or her father. Geeta Hariharan vs. Reserve Bank of India. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that It is now well established that absence of any rule of Hindu law, the court have authority to decide the case on the principle of justice, equity, and good conscience. Gurunath versus Kamlabai. Adoption is to be proved as a fact burden on the person who assert. It was held in which one of the following case? Kisori Lal versus Chittibai. Section 9 of Hindu Marriage Act 1955 was held intra vires the Constitution by Supreme Court of India in the case of Saroj Rani versus Sudarshan Kumar. Jurisdiction of the family court applies to which one of the following? All of this: Lingayat, Muslim, Buddhist. A Muslim divorced woman can apply directly to the Waqf board for when there is no relative support her. This was held in which one of the following cases? Secretary T.N. Warkwo versus Said Fatima Nachi. In which one of the following case court discussed that the whimsical and capricious divorce by the husband is good in law, though bad in the ology. Samina Ara case. In which one of the following case it was held that only in the case of triple talaq halala is mandatory before remarrying to the same husband. Mrs. Subha Adin Swami versus Anand Swami. In which one of the following case Supreme Court had discussed the constitutional validity of triple talaq? Saida Bano versus Union of India. Who delivered the dissenting judgment of the triple talaq? Justice Khair Singh. In Muslim, women deserted by her husband without divorce is entitled to maintain under section 125 of CRPC has been declared by Supreme Court in the case of Muhammad Ahmad Khan versus Bano 1985. In which case the Supreme Court has held that triple talaq would be treated as a single talaq and not valid talaq. Salim Ara versus State of UP 2002. If which one of the following case it was held that only in case of triple talaq halala mandatory before remarrying the same husband? Mrs. Subha Anand Swami versus Anand Swami. Adnan Swami. The principal in the case of Jijabhai Vittal Rao Gajre versus Pathan Khan 1971 are related with minority and guardianship. Govind Dayal versus Inayatullah is a leading case in which one of the following case? Presumption. Saida Bano versus Union of India is case related to triple talaq. ABC versus State of Tamil Nadu, State of NCT of Delhi 2015. Supreme Court held that Section 7 and 11 of Guardian and Ward Act 1980 does not necessarily require notice to send to the unwilling father, and therefore the mother of the child is outside of wedlock can bestow guardianship. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that if the father is wholly indifferent to the matter of minor, the physical unable take care of the minor for a reason of whatsoever, the father can be considered to be absent within the meaning of Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act 1956. Geeta Hariharan versus Reserve Bank of India. In which one of the following case Supreme Court directed the state and central government to make law on the compulsory registration of all marriages in India? Seema versus Ashwin Kumar. In which one of the following case pleading retrospectively talaq is in written statement as a counter to the wife maintaining petition was not accepted as a valid enforceable? Salim Ara versus State of UP. that marriage of all the person who are citizen of India belonging to various religions should made compulsory registrable in the respect of their respective state, where the marriage is solemnized, was held in the Supreme Court in the case of Seema versus Ashwin Kumar. In Hindu law, the clear proof of usual will outweigh the written text of law. This statement was made in the case of Collector of Madurai versus Muttu Ramlingam, 1868. Which one of the following cases is related to mental cruelty and decided by the Supreme Court? Dastane versus Dastane. In which one of the following Supreme Court held that unwed mother can be sole guardian of the child? ABC versus State of NCT of Delhi. Section 9 of Hindu Marriage Act 1955 has been declared unconstitutional by High Court in the case of T. Sarisita versus Venkata Subbiah. A clear proof of usage will outweigh the written text of law. It was observed in Collector of Madura versus Muttung Ramalinga, in which of the case the question of constitutional validity of Section 9 of Hindu Marriage Act 1995 came for the consideration for the first time. T. Sarisita versus Venkata Subbiah. In which one of the following case High Court held that the presence of Qazi is not necessary at the time of the marriage of ceremony of Muslim law? Qazi Muhammad Nizamuddin Hussain versus State of Andhra Pradesh. In which of the following case court held that dower is a sale price of woman? Abdul Qadir case. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that three talaq would be treated as single talaq and not a valid talaq? Salim Ara versus State of UP 2002. Marriage to all persons who are the citizen of India belonging to various religion should be made compulsory registrable in their respective state, where the marriage is solemnized. This was held in the Supreme Court in the case of Seema versus Ashwini Kumar. In which one of the following case court held that doctrine of acknowledgement is a part of the substantive Muslim law of inheritance and not rule of evidence? Muhammad Allahabad Khan versus Muhammad Islam Khan. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that talaq-e-biddat is not a valid divorce? Salim Ara versus Union of India. Dastane versus Dastane is a case decided by the Supreme Court relating to cruelty. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that the three talaq will be treated as single talaq and not a valid talaq? Salim Ara versus State of UP 2002. In which one of the following Supreme Court held that cohabitation lead to the presumption that the person are living as a husband and wife? Balsubramaniam versus Surtan, 1992. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that even a wife of the void marriage is entitled to the maintenance? Chand Diwan versus Jawahar Lal Dhawan, 1993. Section 9 of Hindu Marriage Act 1995 was held to be intra-virus the constitution by the Supreme Court in the case of Saroj Rani versus Sudarshan. The Hindu mother can be a natural guardian of her minor child during the life of the father of the child if he is not taking due care of the child. This was held by the Supreme Court in the case of Geeta Hariharan versus Reserve Bank of India. In which one of the following case Supreme Court of India has addressed the issue of uniform civil code? Romesh Chandra versus Savitri. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that it is not well established that absence of any rule of Hindu law, the court have authority to decide a case of principle, justice, equity, and good conscience. Gaurinath versus Kamalabai. In which one of the following case Supreme Court held that we are not prepared to express any definite opinion on the question whether there are two Karta of joint Hindu family. Mukhara Properties versus Bihari Lal Mukhara. Which one of the following statement is correct? Shreya Singhal versus Union of India deal with the right of freedom of speech and expression. Sarla Mudgal and others versus Union of India deal with the right of the converted Christian women. In which of the following case did the Supreme Court held that a relationship in the nature of the marriage and the domestic violence as 2005 must also fulfill some basic criteria? Merely spending a weekends together one night would not make it domestic relationship. D. Valliswamy versus D. Patchanmal. Dower may be regarded as a consideration for cubinical intercourse by way of analog to contract of sale. The above observation has been made in which one of the following case? Abdul Qadir versus Salima. Chandra versus Suresh 1971 deal with decree of judicial separation. Najwan versus Najwan cruelty. Daniel Latifi versus Union of India maintenance. Husna Ara versus Jubeda Begum Dawar. Gujarat Women Worker Association case. Uniform Civil Code. Geeta Hariharan versus Reserve Bank of India guardianship. Kartar Singh through Bachchan Singh and versus Suraj Singh adoption. Naveen Kohli case irrevocable breakdown of marriage recommended. A. Jayachandra versus Anil Kaur cruelty explained. Tulsamma versus Sisa Reddy limited estate of women became absolute estate. Jol versus Walmith versus Union of India. John Walmithton versus Union of India. Section 118 of Indian Succession Act 1925 is unconstitutional. R versus Kanta Union of India. R Kanta versus Union of India. Right of daughter to reopen the partition is valid. Sandhya versus Union of India. A Hindu having a daughter under Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. Ruqayya Khatun versus Abdul Laskar. Reconciliation should be precede talaq. Saida Banu versus Union of India. Triple talaq is unconstitutional. Salim Ara versus State of UP. Uncommunicated talaq is no talaq. Daniel Latifi versus Union of India. Divorced wife is entitled to meher, unreasonable fair provision for the future. Ashok Khurra versus Rupa Hura. Divorce by mutual consent. Geeta Hariharan versus RBI. Mother as a natural guardian. Lily Thomas versus Union of India. Uniform Civil Code. T. Sarisitta versus Venkata Subbiah. Restitution of conjugal right. Ashok Hura versus Rupa Hura. Divorce by mutual consent. Bipin Chand versus Prabhavati. Desertion. Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India. Uniform Civil Code. T. Sarisitta versus State of AP. Restitution of conjugal right. Muhammad Amjad versus Shah Banu maintenance. Mukha Rathod versus State of Kerala oral gift. Mani Bibi versus चौधरी वकील अहमद। डावर, नवाजिस अली खान वर्सेस अली रज़ा खान, लाइफ इंटरेस्ट। निज़ावन वर्सेस निज़ावन, डिजर्सन। अशोक हुडा वर्सेस रूपा हुडा, restitution of conjugal right। दास्ताने वर्सेस दास्ताने, क्रुएलिटी। टी सरिसिटा वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ एपी, डाइवोर्स बाय म्यूचुअल कंसेंट। डैनियल लतीफ़ वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, मुस्लिम डाइवोर्स। सलीम आड़ा वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ यूपी, ट्रिपल तलाक। मुखर राठौर वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ केरला, ओडल गिफ्ट। हुस्ना आड़ा वर्सेस जुबैदा बेगम, डावर। गुजरात विमेंस वर्कर एसोसिएशन वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। हुमड़ा बीवी वर्सेस जुबैदा बीबी, डाइवोर्स, डावर। अनवरी बेगम वर्सेस जुएदिन, ट्रिपल डाइवोर्स। बाई ताहिरी वर्सेस अली हुसैन फैजली, मेंटेनेंस। राम नड़ेन रामेश्वरी, इंसैनिटी। लक्ष्मण वर्सेस मीना, डिजर्सन। दास्ताने वर्सेस दास्ताने, क्रुएल्टी। मिस्टर एक्स वर्सेस हॉस्पिटल जेड, वर्नियल डिजीज। सीमा वर्सेस अश्विन, कंपल्सरी रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ मैरिज। गीता हरिहरन वर्सेस रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, क्रुएल्टी एज ए ग्राउंड ऑफ नहीं, मर्डर एज ए नेचुरल गार्जियन। वी भगत वर्सेस डी भगत, क्रुएल्टी एज ए ग्राउंड ऑफ डाइवोर्स। मोहम्मद अमजद खान वर्सेस साहिरा बानो, मेंटेनेंस ऑफ मुस्लिम वाइफ। दास्ताने वर्सेस दास्ताने, मेंटल क्रुएल्टी। इकबाल बानो वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ यूपी, मेंटेनेंस ऑफ मुस्लिम वाइफ। लिली थॉमस वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, बाइगैमी। हरविंदर कौर वर्सेस हरमंदर सिंह, रेस्टिट्यूशन ऑफ कॉन्जुगल राइट। सरोज रानी वर्सेस सुदर्शन कुमार, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिटी ऑफ सेक्शन 9 ऑफ हिंदू मैरिज एक्ट 1955। जॉर्डन डी डेंडस वर्सेस एस चोपड़ा, यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। रशेल वर्सेस रशेल, मीनिंग ऑफ क्रुएलिटी। शास्त्री वर्सेस मुलदास, मीनिंग ऑफ हिंदू। विश्वनाथ अग्रवाल वर्सेस सरला अग्रवाल, क्रुएलिटी। गीता मुल्लागानी वर्सेस जगदीश मुल्लागानी, डिजर्सन। मनीष गोयल वर्सेस रोहिणी गोयल, डिवोर्स बाय म्यूचुअल कंसेंट। विष्णु प्रकाश वर्सेस शीला देवी, सदपति।